On today's Sports Card Investor, we've got breaking news in the hobby, big things to talk about, as well as 5 scorching hot cards that are setting the hobby on fire.
My name is Geoff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Sports card investors, and welcome to another episode. Boy, do we have a lot of stuff happening in the hobby right now. The month of December is going to be wild, and it all started yesterday with the breaking news that PSA and its parent company, Collectors Universe, are being acquired by an investment group who's going to take them private. And there's a couple of really interesting things going on here. First of all, the investor group is being led by famous sports card collector Nat Turner. So you're going to have a real sports card guru helping to lead PSA's future. I like that. That is good news for us as collectors, as investors. I like the fact that you're going to have someone who really understands sports card collecting, helping to guide PSA going forward. The other really interesting thing it does is by taking PSA private, it relieves some of the shareholder pressure and it allows PSA to invest more in their future. Typically, what you find in the world of business is that when a company goes from public to private, it allows them to take more of a long-term approach to what they're doing. They no longer have to hit quarterly numbers. They no longer have to hit certain earnings or certain profits that their investors are pressuring them to see their shareholders are. Rather, it allows them to relieve that pressure and to take a little bit of a longer-term view. And what that will mean, likely, for PSA is they're going to be able to actually invest heavily in technologies and processes to make sports card grading faster, more efficient, more secure, more customer friendly. I'm sure they're going to invest heavily in computer grading so that, computer vision will be, helping analyze cards and speed up the grading process. There will be a lot they will be able to do to be more innovative once they go private. It's going to be exciting to watch. Now, this is theoretically going to happen in Q1 of next year. It will be interesting, though, to see if any roadblocks come in the way of this happening. And the reason why I say that is there's something very unusual going on right now, and that is the share price of Collectors stock shot up upon news of the acquisition, and it went above the acquisition price. And that share price is sitting above the price that all of the shares are going to be bought at early next year. What that tells me is that there are likely shareholders out there who think that either the deal is actually not going to go through or that more money is going to have to be put on the table by the acquirers to make it make sense to all the shareholders who are having their shares bought out. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but hopefully good things in store for PSA. There's other breaking news as well. eBay has just agreed to support our virtual Sports Card Con Holiday Edition with more than $15,000 worth of giveaways next week. For those of you who watch the virtual Sports Card Con Holiday Edition right here on this channel next week, next Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night at 8 p.m. every night, we are going to be going live with dealers and breakers from around the country, showing off cards, selling cards, special guests. Andre Dawson's going to be joining us to talk sports cards, other big names. It's going to be fabulous. And just for registering, which is totally free, just for registering and watching, you have the opportunity to win more than $15,000 worth of giveaways just in time for the holidays. This is incredible stuff. If you have not registered yet, pause the video right now. Go to sportscardinvestor.com and click on the virtual in the main menu bar to register for free. The third bit of news, did you see our video this morning? My team at Sports Card Investor and I are doing a very special event in December to help support charities. Every single morning during the month of December on this channel, we are breaking a box, awesome boxes, valuable boxes, and we're giving the best card from that box away. We're auctioning on eBay, and we're giving 100% of the proceeds away to charity. We're doing this every single day. It's going to make an awesome video series. At the end of this video, if you didn't go watch our first break from this morning, please go watch it. It is our Advent charity giveaway every single morning between now and December 24th, and we pulled some fire this morning. So if you like watching cool boxes be opened and knowing that it's supporting a charitable cause, then please check out our videos. We're releasing them every morning at 9 a.m. on this channel during the month of December. Gosh, so much going on during December, but it's all great stuff and so much happening in the sports card market and our top 5 cards. So let's jump right in. You guys know the basketball card market has been hot. After going down a bit during the months of September and October, it has really roared back during the month of November, and we're seeing it across the board with all types of cards. And today, we're gonna start, our first 2 cards are gonna be cards that are a little bit more under the radar, players that are not necessarily your biggest name, rookies, but who are seeing their cards go up and up along with the heat of the hobby. Number 5 is Wesson Carter Jr. of the Chicago Bulls. The big man for the Chicago Bulls, he's only 21 years old. He was the 7th pick in the 2018 draft, but you don't hear his name a lot compared to guys like Luka and Trae and Michael Porter Jr. and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and other stars from that 2018 draft class who tend to steal away all of the hype and the publicity. But Wesson Carter Jr., still a very big part of that 2018 rookie class. And he put up some nice numbers last year in his sophomore year, 11.3 points per game, 9.4 rebounds per game. Investors are expecting him to make a jump in his 3rd year. And there's a lot to like about the Bulls. They're a young team. They just got a new coach, Billy Donovan. Go Gators. Donovan did a nice job of working with a lot of the young players at Oklahoma City before he came over to Chicago. Of course, they got Kobe White, they got Big Score, they got a lot of great things happening potentially for the future of Chicago, and investors are therefore excited about Wesson Carter Jr. And you can see that in his card prices. Now, these are fairly low population cards we're looking at here. I'm sure that will change as more people send these cards off for grading. But very nice trend lines for the sales that have occurred. The top line on your graph up here is his silver Prism and PSA 10 from 2018. And the bottom line is his Prism base card in PSA 10 from 2018. And you can see they're both a very, very nice trend line. Those dotted lines showing a very, very nice trend line. This is the last 30 days we're looking at. So this is going back to the beginning of November. And you can see that his base card is up 100% in the last 30 days. It's jumped from a low of $50 to a high of $100. And you can see that his silver PSA 10 is up 44% during the last 30 days as well. So very nice upwards trajectory by Wesson Carter Jr. Also nice upwards trajectory by a player on the Phoenix Suns, not the biggest names who you might expect when you hear me say Phoenix Suns these days, because they get all fancy when they went out and got Chris Paul and, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, and all these guys are super, super hot going into next season. But don't forget about Cameron Johnson. Cam Johnson is their rookie from last year. He was the 11th overall pick in the 2019 draft. And he didn't do a ton as a rookie, averaged 8.8 points per game. So, not anything real crazy. But he is obviously still young. He's a prospect for them, a good prospect. And now with Chris Paul on the team and people expecting more out of Phoenix this year, people are excited about Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, by the way, although he only averaged 8.8 points for the season per game, in the bubble, he averaged more than 13 points per game. So you already saw some nice growth between the regular season and then the bubble when we had the time off in between. And so I think people are really excited to see what he can do this year coming back for Phoenix as they go into this next season. His cards, they are reflecting that excitement. Let's take a look here at his 2019 Prism base card in PSA 10. Now, again, this is a pretty low population card. Not a ton of these have been graded. I'm sure that will change now that people have taken more interest in him. I'm sure we're going to see more of these submitted for grading. But look at that really nice trend line. I mean, this was a card at the beginning of November that was around $80. And by the end of November, this was hitting a high of $155. That is a change of 90%. So pretty nice increase there for sure for Cam Johnson. And fans of the Phoenix Suns rejoice because for the first time in top 5 sports card history, you've got 2 players back to back in the top 5, because in our number 3 spot, we are going to the leader of the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker has been hot as can possibly be since the Chris Paul trade was announced. People are expecting big things from Devin Booker this season, and why not? Devin Booker was sensational in the NBA bubble. He is also, by the way, the second highest scorer in NBA history in a single game. He had 70 points back in 2017, surpassed only by Kobe Bryant's 81-point game in 2006. I should say this century, right? Certainly, I don't mean to forget about Wilt's 100-point game and everything like that. But in the last 20 years, he's got the second highest scoring game in the last 20 years. And so, everyone's known that Devin Booker's had the talent. Phoenix looked great in the bubble, and people are excited, especially now with Chris Paul. They really think that Phoenix is going to make a run this year, and why not? Any guy who can score 70 points in a game, any guy who has that capability, is a guy to watch out for and a guy to think about investing in. And had you invested in Devin Booker over the last 30 days, you would have been pretty darn happy with the returns, because this, going back just 30 days ago, look at these trend lines. I've called 3 of his different cards up on the screen. I've got his Prism base in PSA 10 as your top line. I put the Prism base in PSA 9 just to change up grades a little bit and make sure we're seeing a consistent trend line across grades as the bottom line. And then I even threw his Donruss on here as well, which is a real low pop count card, but we've had a few sales of that. All 3, as you can see, are following a real similar positive trend line. His Donruss is up 101%. His Prism base is up 45% in PSA 10 and 35% in PSA 9. All of this in reaction to the Chris Paul trade news. People are excited to see what Devin Booker and the Suns are able to do this season. Let's go to our number 2 card on this week's list. Now, unlike our previous 2 players, Devin Booker and Cam Johnson, who benefited from a trade, they benefited from Chris Paul being traded to Phoenix. In this case, this player's card prices benefited from him not being traded at all. After there being trade rumors swirling around him for the last few weeks, his team, Sacramento, put a quick end to that when they signed Darren Fox to a 5-year, $163 million contract. And why not? Darren Fox is an exciting player. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2017 draft, and people are expecting big things out of him. He scored over 21 points per game for Sacramento last year. People are expecting those numbers to go up. They're excited about what Darren Fox can bring to the Kings. And of course, we certainly know now, without a doubt, that he is going to be the face of that franchise for years to come. And his card prices have reacted accordingly. Here on the graph, I've got his silver rookie cards, Prism 2017 Prism silvers and PSA 10, and his base cards from 2017 Prism and PSA 10. I also put on his Optic Hollows and his Optic base cards in PSA 10. And if we go to the price changes tab, you can see just how nicely all of those have moved up over the last 30 days. And it's really his Prism Silver that has led the way. That card is up almost 47% over the last 30 days. That was a card that was $599 less than 30 days ago, is now an $880 card as people are investing more and more heavily in De'Aaron Fox as he enters this next NBA season. but all of these players pale in comparison to our number one guy this week. And if you saw my video from a couple of days ago where I showed you my personal collection, I might have given you a little hint about who was number one on this list this week, because he has been undoubtedly the best basketball card to own over the last 90 days. And it's not just because I own his cards. I am letting the market do the talking, and the data does not lie. And his cards have been leading the way in the basketball card market. I am, of course, talking about Trae Young, the great Trae Young from here in Atlanta, a guy who I like to invest in as well as collect, somebody who I'm very fond of and love watching his game. He's an incredible player. People are excited about what he can do entering his third year. And I've got to show this to you because this graph is so striking. Look at this graph. This is his 2018 Prism Silver card in PSA 10. And this one goes all the way back to the beginning of the year is what I'm showing you on the screen here. And you can see this August frenzy when the whole basketball card market reached its absolute peak around the middle of August. And this was true for every single basketball card. They all reached their peak during August for all these modern basketball cards. And then they all fell back down. Trae Young's cards were no different during the month of September. But look at where Trae Young's cards have gone. They have not only surpassed their August highs, they have blown their August highs out of the water. Every single day, Trae Young is setting the all-time high bar for the value of his cards. People are extremely excited about Trae Young entering this season. These cards have gone up 654% since the beginning of this year. What an incredible climb. But let's zoom in and look just at the last 30 days. And so I put his Prism Silver PSA 10 on the top of the screen here from 2018. Then you got his base. And I put his hoops and his Donruss base, both in PSA 10, on here as well. Let's switch to look at it by percentages because that tells the clearer story. And you can see all of these cards are up incredibly. Even over the last 30 days, his silver is leading the way. His silver over the last 30 days is up almost 76%, and his base card is up over 55%. These are his 2018 Prism cards in PSA 10. His hoops and his Donruss have not gone up as much, but they've still gone up 15% and 19% respectively. And maybe there's room for those to go up further, because what we often see when we're looking at graphs like these in market movers is that you'll see key cards like the Prism Silver move first, and then you'll see secondary sets and secondary cards and secondary grades start to follow, but with a little bit of a lag pattern. So it actually could present some good value buy opportunities. If you were in the market for Trae Young right now and you were looking for more of kind of a value buy, you might want to consider his hoops in PSA 10. You might want to consider his Donruss in PSA 10 from 2018, because those ones haven't moved as much as the Prisms that are really, really leading the market on this incredible Trae Young surge. By the way, Market Movers is awesome at seeing those types of trends, and Market Movers Lite, which gives you access to all of our charts and data for thousands and thousands of players, is now only $24.99 a month. If you've not checked it out, you can go to sportscardinvestor.com and click on Market Movers in the main menu bar to check it out. I am extremely excited that Trae is our number one guy. He has really, really been leading the comeback of the basketball card market over the last 30 days. The market has been so hot. It is exciting to see. We've got the tip-off of the NBA season now just a few weeks away. It's going to be extremely exciting to see what happens in the weeks ahead and who continues to emerge on this show as our number one guy every single week. It's going to be fascinating to watch. And it's also going to be fascinating to watch our virtual sports card con. Please go register now if you haven't already by going to sportscardinvestor.com. Click the virtual in the main menu bar and get registered for free for those $15,000 worth of giveaways, thanks to our partner eBay. Check that out. Check out our video from this morning. We're going to bring up a link to it in just a minute to see our card break from this morning. It is worth watching. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you back in a couple of days with our next episode. Take care.